Setting up the casting tool. Un momento. Ah. Beautiful, there we go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the American Protoss player. I did not know this, but representing Berserker Esports, oh, mate, he has come a long way. It is the Pink Protoss, Holden. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have his opponents. We have the superstar Micro Jackson himself, the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Oh, let's go, Papi. Let's go. One of the 4 Terran of the Apocalypse, bringing it back. For those wondering, the OG 4 Terrans of the Apocalypse are ByuN, Maru, Innovation, and TY. Some of them have retired, some of them have come back. Innovation recently coming back, Maru still very prevalent, and ByuN also here, looking powerful, looking to maybe have a deep run in this tournament. And here, in round 16, is going to be facing Holden. Holden is also near and dear to my heart. He's an American. If I'm not mistaken, he's American. He's not Canadian, right? Let me just double check. We have casted him in the past. He's a player who I remember seeing him as a master. I don't want to say diamond. He was a Masters player back in the day. He used to play in some of these amateur tournaments. He used to play in NA Apprentice, in like the Code A version of NA Apprentice. Yeah, he has been slowly improving over time, and it's really cool to see him thrive. He's still an up-and-coming player in the American scene, so still has a ways to go, as I double check and confirm he is American, not Canadian. There we go. He still has a ways to go, but it has been really cool to see him just grow over time and improve and slowly rank up over the course of the past couple of years. Oh. But now he faces ByuN, of all players. Now he's up against one of the best Terrans in the entire world. Oh boy. We'll see how he can do here, as we do see ByuN coming across the map. He did go for a Reaper expand, or for a Rax expand. Reaper has shown up just to dance here with the workers. Nice control so far by Holden. He hasn't lost any of his probes, hasn't lost anything at all, and he's going for a Twilight Council opener, which I believe has been hidden from ByuN, because ByuN wasn't able to get behind the mineral line. So Holden going to be keeping that secret and safe for the time being. As ByuN back at home does go into his 1-1-1. We do have a Widowmine opener as well. I'm curious to see if he's going to continue Widowmine production. He could transition from here into a bit of a drop, as he even makes a Hellion as well. Going to be testing the defenses of Holden, looking for a way in, looking to try and get that scout off. Here we go. For the time being, he's going to be dancing with these Adepts. He wants the Adept. The shield battery is just barely not done. The Adept is going to be going down, and the Reapers get into the mineral line. Oh, one of them will go down for a probe, but regardless, even upon seeing this Stalker, the likelihood of this being a Stargate is very low, so he should be able to predict that it should be a Twilight Council. I guess it could be a Robo opener, which isn't uncommon in this matchup, but there we go. He confirms, and he also spots that the Twilight Council is researching. We got a nice scout in the end from ByuN. Meanwhile, off of this, Holden is going straight for a third base. You got to be cutting corners when you're the underdog in a series. So he's going straight for that third. ByuN otherwise did continue Widowmine production, did make that medevac, and he's going across the map for a drop. Not the most committed drop. As we can see, there's no armory with this. There's only 3 Widowmines, not 4. And ByuN does this quite a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if he drops a Widowmine in the middle of the map, if he waddles into the natural as he drops into the main. We'll see. We'll see how he does execute this. The Reaper dips in just to try to get an eye on where the Stalkers are and what location they're in. The Stalkers are covering the natural as the Widowmine is borrowed and is going to scuttle in. Very ByuN-esque as the drop goes into the main base. Nice reaction so far out of Holden, but this is a distraction because the Widowmine is scuttling into the natural. Up! Ooh. 6 probes go down at the natural again. ByuN was able to distract Holden enough for that Widowmine to get in, and the Widowmine is even scuttling away. Oh, look at him go. His tiny legs will take him far as Holden even tries to shut it down. Meanwhile, here in the main base, the drop did survive, barely. ByuN has to be careful with this. It's possible to still unload and get another Widowmine shot off. And there we go, he's going for it! And just like that, Holden, he wasn't prepared, he wasn't in position. The medevac is looking to escape, and the Widowmine does burrow up. Widowmine, sorry, the medevac does get out of there. The Widowmine does go off in the end. Meanwhile, Holden is going for a counterattack. He's only working with 2 gateways though, so he's trying to find whatever he can. He's trying to catch that drop. Did he get it? Yeah, he did. did get the medevac in the end. And now Holden has map control. He's working on charge. Again, still only working off of 2 gates right now, so not very committed. There we go. There, finally, we have the gateway explosion on the way. Holden has to be careful when it comes to ByuN's move out. If he loses too many of these stalkers, he could definitely trigger a snowball effect. As ByuN is just chilling here on his 2 bases, working on a 3rd CC. Is very well prepared for any kind of blink stalker aggression as well. He's got his bunker, he's got a tank in the natural, and the main base. He's very well fortified here on 2 bases. Oh, as we have a 7 gateway explosion from Holden. Ay. What's important to take note of is that he also hasn't taken any additional gases. It looks like he just wants to focus on charge lot production. Oh! Widowmine tries to be sneaky, but it does get focused down. But yeah, I'm curious to see if he does end up taking more gases or if he is just going for a mass charge lot composition instead. Holden setting up to expand and take a 4th base. Does have vision in the main of ByuN. Does spot that there is a 3rd CC in the way. Oh! And he's going to be able to dance a little bit here with ByuN's army. He picks up a couple of Marines, not too bad. Doesn't lose any Stalkers. I'm sure he was hoping he could maybe bait out a stim, but doesn't quite pull it off. Yo, Holden's playing with fire. Oh my god. Calm down, Poppy. There we go. There's that stim. Holden does blink away. 4th base is in production. And finally, we do see some tech being thrown down alongside some gases. We should be seeing a 2nd robo alongside this. I wouldn't be surprised if we do get one. Just to get into Colossi production, just to get into Disruptors as well. Just to round out this army. As here we go, Holden is finally going to be going for a little bit of aggression. He's got a Prism queued up to go into the main base of ByuN. His main army as well is going to be chilling here, waiting for any kind of massive counterattack. You know, his force is looking pretty formidable for what it is. Oh, we see a scan, a very nice skin from ByuN. Actually, he does spot the bay as it's on the way, so he knows that there is very little to no splash damage right now. He knows that Holden is at his most vulnerable, and even though he has a lot of charge lots, we have a Raven for potentially an anti-armor missile. Meanwhile, Prism slips out across the map. ByuN does have eyes on this, so Holden is forced back. ByuN is setting up for an assault. He scans, he misses the army, but oh, Holden does reveal himself. Here we go, we do see a stim, we do see that anti-armor missile as well, getting the majority of this army. That is going to force Holden back. Thankfully, Holden did throw down some force fields. Is going to hold ByuN back as well. And ideally wait for the anti-armor missile to run out. But no, he goes in. Oh. And it looks like Holden has bought enough time for his first Colossus. And now with this Colossus, he should be safe. ByuN does respect that. Meanwhile, behind this, ByuN is continuing to tech up. You know, we have a Ghost Academy on the way for the most part. For the most part, the Prism wasn't really able to do too much harassment at all. We saw a pretty big Widowmine shell go off. Like, the majority of these Zealots don't have shields anymore. That was quite brutal, to be honest. We have another anti-armor missile. Oh, it gets the entire army. Oh my god, we even see disable the Colossus, and ByuN is gonna stim on forward. He shuts down the rallied Colossus. He's getting on top of the natural base. He sieges on up, and that is the move that ByuN was waiting for. Holden is forced to engage. But engaging like this is not what you want to be seeing. GG gets called. ByuN takes the series 2-0. Oh, One move is all he needed. Unfortunately, Holden was unable to avoid or unable to react in time to that anti-armor missile. And I guess wasn't looking at the time either to force field and try to keep ByuN back and hold on to his natural. The other surprising thing that we saw was a lack of shield batteries as well at the natural to support the army. Again, Holden was fully aware of where ByuN was, where he was situated, but had very little to help kind of bolster his defenses. Regardless, GG, well played. Congratulations to ByuN. I mean, it was expected for him to take the series, but I hope Holden doesn't feel too bad about that. Like, I wouldn't say that was necessarily completely one-sided. Like, Holden was holding his own. Did take a Widowmine shot to the face, which was a little bit brutal. A couple of times, actually. But Holden didn't look too bad, and it's great to see him on a new team representing Berserker Esports, and I hope he's getting a little love and support there, and I hope he's able to thrive in that environment.